Good evening. We are going to be reading the iRacing Sporting Code. Some of you definitely don't know that it exists. I've seen the way you race. Let's get started. Official iRacing Sporting Code. Table of Contents. Section 1, General Principles. Section 2, Conduct. Section 3, License Class. Section 4, Driver Skill Ratings. Section 5, Competition. Section 6, Race Procedures. Section 7, Flag Signals. Section 8, Penalties. Section 9, Protest. Section 10, Appeals. Section 11, Hosted Sessions. Section 12, Sanctioned Race Series. Section 13, Multiclass Racing. Section 14, World Championship, Pro and eSports Series. Section 1, General Principles. 1.1, iRacing.com. 1.1.1 iRacing.com endeavors to create the world's most authentic motorsports racing simulation for the customer and other markets, including providing a high-quality, centralized, and organized real-time online racing platform. 1.1.2 iRacing.com serves as the sanctioning body for internet racing conducted through and by iRacing.com. Its mission is to organize and facilitate centralized internet racing competitions, providing structure, consistency, and fairness. 1.1.3 iRacing.com shall be the sole sporting authority entitled to make and enforce regulations for internet racing competitions as hosted by iRacing.com. 1.1.4 iRacing.com may from time to time elect to enter into co-sanctioning agreements or other similar partnerships with other motorsports sanctioning bodies, clubs, or organizations to facilitate the organization and execution of a specific internet racing event or series of events. 1.2 iRacing Official Sporting Code. 1.2.1 To ensure fair and consistent governance of internet racing competition and strive to create a respectful environment, iRacing.com has established the iRacing Official Sporting Code. 1.2.2 The iRacing Official Sporting Code and any addenda shall govern all internet racing events sanctioned by iRacing.com. 1.2.3 It is the obligation and responsibility of all iRacing.com members to read, understand, and abide by the iRacing Official Sporting Code. 1.2.4 iRacing.com may from time to time, at its sole discretion, revise any or all of the iRacing Official Sporting Code. 1.2.5 iRacing.com may publish supplementary regulations pertaining to an individual series and or event. These supplementary regulations are intended to augment the iRacing Official Sporting Code and or modify certain elements therein to ensure fair and consistent competition in the particular series or event to which the supplementary regulations apply. 1.2.6 Unless specifically noted in the supplementary regulations, all rules set forth in the iRacing Official Sporting Code will apply to every iRacing.com sanctioned event. 1.2.7 The iRacing Official Sporting Code affords every iRacing member assessed a penalty or named as a party to protest the right to appeal a decision made by iRacing.com. See Appeals, Section 10. Upon final resolution of such appeals, however, application and interpretation of the iRacing Official Sporting Code by iRacing.com officials shall be final and binding. Section 2, Conduct. 2.1, Principles. 2.1.1 The catch-all general article. Be respectful and courteous on and off the track. It is expected that each member will treat other members, drivers, iRacing.com officials, employees, spectators, partners, guests on any iRacing websites and the community generally in a respectful, fair, and courteous manner. Bullying, abusive, threatening, rude, mean, and disrespectful language or actions are not allowed. iRacing.com has sole discretion to determine if the behavior of a member is causing negative issues or angst with other drivers in the community. 2.1.1.1 Constructive suggestions and warranted complaints made in a respectful manner are welcome, but unfair and consistent negativity towards iRacing.com, other members, or the community is not allowed on iRacing.com. 2.1.2 Some of the satisfaction of being a member of our community comes to the personal relationships that are formed and maintained. For that reason, we require members to register using their real names, which, in addition to facilitating friendships, promotes personal responsibility. If there is a justified reason you would not like to use your real name, contact customer support to discuss a name change. 2.1.3 Emotions will run high in our races as they do in all competitive environments. However, rude behavior, whether in actions behind the wheel, in oral communications through in-sim chat, or in writing on forums, have no place here. 2.1.4 The terms of use and end-user licensing agreement to which you agreed upon joining iRacing.com stipulates that iRacing, including its sanctioning organization iRacing.com, will have sole discretion of what constitutes inappropriate on-track or interpersonal behavior, and shall have the authority to impose penalties up to and including revocation or suspension of membership or parts of the membership service. We have no tolerance for deliberately bad behavior, whether on or off track. These individuals who are habitually unable to treat others in an appropriate and respectful fashion on iRacing will no longer be welcome as a member on the iRacing.com service. 2.2 On-Track Conduct 2.2.1 iRacing places a high value on responsible driving and fair competition. Accidents in racing are inevitable. They are a natural consequence of close competition. The iRacing.com graduated licensing program stresses the development of driving skills and the avoidance of accidents, rewarding safe driving and minimizing the number of on-track accidents. 2.2.2 In the physical world, the risk of injury and expensive car repair serves as a natural deterrent to reckless driving. Because those risks do not exist in the virtual world, iRacing uses a system that automatically calculates a driver's safety record through each lap in every official on-track session. The system does not assess blame for an incident, so responsibility for avoiding crashes still resides with each individual driver. 2.2.3 While it is not reasonable or feasible for iRacing to directly monitor every on-track session, iRacing.com officials may randomly select sessions to monitor. Drivers can also report reckless and/or erratic driving and attempts at on-track intimidation. See intentional, retaliatory, and/or malicious wrecking, section 6.10. To iRacing.com officials by submitting a protest through the proper channels. See protest, section 9. Failure to drive with respect for other competitors could lead to sanctions. Those who habitually engage in bad on-track behavior will be removed from iRacing.com. Thank you for the bit, Daniel. 2.2.4 We believe that racing in the virtual world is a form of motorsport, and we are part of the overall motorsports landscape. Our expectation is that all members of our community, racers, spectators, officials, and employees, will conduct themselves in the same way as a respectful participant would at an event in the physical world. Each of us owes every other member of the iRacing community the same courtesy and respect that we expect to receive ourselves. 2.3 Voice and text chat. 2.3.1 iRacing.com provides means for racers to communicate with one another before, during, and after on-track sessions. The high emotions that are a normal part of close racing do not justify verbally abusive or other inappropriate expressions toward officials or other racers. Disrespectful communications, including foul or threatening language and insults, will not be tolerated and could lead to suspension or the cancellation of the offender's membership. 2.4 Forums. 2.4.1 The iRacing.com forum is the social backbone of our community, providing a way for members to interact with one another, exchange information, and build friendships. Disagreements are part of the landscape, but in order to maintain a pleasant environment for all community members, participants must not use rude or hostile language. Posts that attempt to publicly confront, bait, or Posts that attempt to publicly confront, bait with excessive negativity, accuse or attack another member, iRacing.com employees or officials are forbidden. Those who engage in a pattern of such behavior will face penalties that may include revocation of membership. 2.4.2 The private messaging function is considered part of the iRacing.com forums, and as such, the same standards for conduct apply to all private messages. Foul or threatening language and insults will not be tolerated and may lead to the cancellation of the offender's membership. 2.4.3 The iRacing.com forums are a place to communicate and socialize about a shared passion for sim racing, and other general topics as long as they remain a family-friendly discussion. Thank you, Patrick. Any member who regularly instigates others and turns the nature of a discussion negative or hurtful will be subject to being removed from the iRacing.com forums at iRacing.com's sole discretion. Section 3. License Class 3.1 Principle 3.1.1 In an effort to provide the best possible racing experience for all competitors, thanks, Daniel, iRacing uses a tiered license class structure for all members. 3.1.2 Members start with a rookie license and progress to higher tiers based on performance and participation. Higher level licenses are awarded based on the driver's on-track safety record and experience. Each race series are typically restricted to members who possess a certain license class, grouping drivers with similar safety records and skill. iRating, which measures the overall skill of a driver based on competitive results, does not impact the driver's license class. 3.1.3 Members always earn or lose license classes sequentially, and each driver has a unique and separate license class within each category, such as road or oval. 3.1.4 License classes are awarded and lost during the season and at the completion of a season based on driver performance. 3.2 License Class Advancement 3.2.1 Each iRacing.com member starts with a rookie license for each racing category, such as road and oval. All other license classes must be earned. 3.2.2 License Class Advancement is based on two factors. 3.2.2.1 Completion of a Minimum Participation Requirement, or MPR. 3.2.2.2 Achievement of a Minimum Safety Rating. 3.2.3 Higher tier license classes for each racing category must be obtained in sequential order, and the minimum participation requirements are racing category specific. 3.3 License Classes 3.3.1 License Class Examples Rookie, Class D, thank you Daniel, Class C, Class B, Class A, Pro. 3.3.2 Rookie license, including rookie and advanced rookie, indicated by an official red stripe on the driver's car, helmet, and license image. 3.3.3 Class D license, indicated by an official orange stripe on the driver's car, helmet, and license image. 3.3.4 Class C license, indicated by an official yellow stripe on the driver's car, helmet, and license image. 3.3.5 Class B license, indicated by an official green stripe on the driver's car, helmet, and license image. 3.3.6 Class A license, indicated by an official blue stripe on the car's helmet. Oh, sorry. Let me start that over. Indicated by an official blue stripe on the driver's car, helmet, and license image. 3.3.7 iRacing.com Pro and World Championship Series license, indicated by an official black stripe on the driver's car, helmet, and license image. This license level is limited to the top rated drivers in the world. 3.4 Minimum Participation Requirements, or MPR. 3.4.1 Rookie Licenses. 3.4.1.1 Rookie license holders are required to participate in at least 4 official ranked time trial sessions or 2 official ranked sessions to be eligible to earn a Class D license in a particular race category. The driver must also maintain the proper minimum safety rating for the particular race category. One moment. Thank you, Daniel. 3.4.2 Non-Rookie Licenses. 3.4.2.1 All non-rookie license holders are required to participate in at least 4 official ranked time trial sessions or 4 official ranked race sessions to be eligible to earn a license class promotion within a particular race category. The driver must also maintain the proper minimum safety rating for the particular race category. 3.4.2.2 Example: a driver with a Class D license for the road racing category may complete the MPR for the current season by competing in 4 time trials or 4 race sessions in the official ranked Class D Skip Barber race series. If the same driver were to run race sessions in the official ranked Advanced Rookie Solstice series, the series is the tier below the driver's Class D license, i.e. racing down, these race sessions would not count towards the driver's MPR. 3.5 Incidents. 3.5.1 The iRacing software monitors all on-track sessions, excluding testing sessions, time attack sessions, and practice sessions, and any incidents that occur therein. Each incident type has a certain value, and the software automatically calculates each driver's incidents for each session. 3.5.1.1 Table of pavement racing incident point values. Incident type and value. Light contact with another driver, 0x. Wheels off the racing surface, 1x. Loss of control, 2x. Contact with other object, 2x. Heavy contact with another driver, 4x. 3.5.1.2 Table of dirt racing incident point values, incident type, and value. Light contact with another driver, 0x. Wheels off the racing surface, 1x. Loss of control, 2x. Contact with other object, 2x. Heavy contact with another driver, 2x. 3.5.2 In the event of multiple concurrent incidents, i.e. 2x that causes a 4x, only the most serious is counted, i.e. 4x. 3.5.3 The iRacing software does not attempt to determine fault as it would not be possible. Incidents are assessed to all involved drivers individually on a no-fault basis, no matter the circumstances. 3.5.4 iRacing.com typically has an incident limit or maximum set on race series which will automatically disqualify and remove a driver, thank you Daniel, from a race should he or she reach the limit. For example, an incident limit of 17 might be set in a given race series. Should a driver reach that limit during a race, they will be immediately withdrawn, thank you Mike, from the session. iRacing.com may establish different incident point systems for new forms of racing yet to be released based on the nature of the racing. 3.6 Corner and Incident Multipliers. 3.6.1 iRacing.com places a high priority on safe driving at all times. However, races and other sessions, when incidents can directly affect more than one competitor, are more important than time trials, thank you Mike, and single car qualifying. Accordingly, corner and incident multipliers are applied when averaging a recent official ranked session into a driver's safety rating. Alright, I'm turning that off. Thank you though. 3.6.1.1 Table of corner and incident multipliers. Session type, sim session, weight. Time attack, 0. Practice, lone practice, 0. Practice, open practice, 0. Qualify, lone qualify oval, 0.35. Qualify, lone qualifying road, 0.5. Time trial, 0.35. Race, warm up, 0.5. Race, 1. 3.6.2 Incidents are counted throughout each session, including during the cooldown period after the checkered flag. 3.6.3 Corner and incident multipliers are subject to change by iRacing.com. 3.7 Safety rating. 3.7.1 Safety rating is the value assigned to all racers as a measure of the driver's overall safety record. It is calculated using a formula that takes into account the number of corners a driver completes and the number and severity of incidents that driver accumulated in the process. These factors are averaged over a set number of laps and updated as each new official ranked session is finished. 3. Oh, let's just continue. 3.7.2. Each driver has their own safety rating for each license class, i.e. Rookie, D, C, etc., and in each racing category, i.e. Oval, Road, etc., ranging from 0.00 to 4.99. Generally speaking, the higher the value, the safer the driver for that class and racing category combination. 3.8. Minimum safety requirements. 3.8.1. The driver must achieve and maintain a safety rating within a certain range to advance to the next license class. The driver can track his or her safety record by the safety rating number on each racing category license. 3.8.2. Drivers start with a rookie license with a safety rating of 2.5 in all racing categories. As the driver completes official ranked race sessions safely, his or her safety rating will rise. Conversely, multiple incidents in official ranked race sessions will cause his or her safety rating to fall. 3.9. Promotion. 3.9.1. Season promotion. Drivers having earned at least a 3 safety rating by the end of a season and having met the minimum participation requirements will be promoted to the next higher tier of license class at the conclusion of the season. 3.9.2. Fast Track promotion. Drivers having earned at least a 4 safety rating at any point during a season and having met the minimum participation requirements will be promoted to the next higher tier of license class immediately. 3.9.2.1. An exception to this rule exists for drivers with a rookie license class. A driver with a rookie license class who has met the MPR and earns a 3 safety rating at any point during a season will immediately be promoted to a D license class. 3.10. 3.10.1. Season demotion. Drivers with a 2 to 2.99 safety rating will remain with the same license class, while drivers with a safety rating below 2 will be demoted to the next lower tier of license class at the conclusion of the season. 3.10.2. Reckless driver demotion. Drivers whose safety ratings drop below 1 at any point during a season, including participants in the Pro Series, will be immediately demoted to the next lower license class. 3.10.2.1. Rookie and Class C license holders are not subject to demotions of any kind. 3.10.2.2. Class A license holders are only subject to reckless driver demotions unless the driver was already demoted from an iRacing.com Pro Series license. 3.10.2.3. Former iRacing.com Pro Series license holders must improve their Class A license to a minimum of a 4 safety rating, and only then will they be automatically reinstated as an iRacing.com Pro Series license holder. Moreover, if they drop below a Class A license at any time, their favored status is eliminated and they must meet the license class promotion requirements as normal. 3.11. Series eligibility. 3.11.1. In order to be eligible to compete in a given iRacing.com official race series, a driver must possess at least the minimum required license class within the racing category of that series. 3.11.2. Typically, drivers may race down, i.e. participate in a series primarily intended for drivers at a lower license class, but there may be exceptions. 3.11.3. Race series eligibility is shown on the iRacing.com members website series page. The minimum and maximum license class requirements are displayed. All license classes between the displayed licenses are eligible. Section 4. Driver's Skill Rating. 4.1. iRating. 4.1.1. iRating is a measure of racing skill and proficiency and exists to ensure competitive racing and championships by maximizing the chances that similarly skilled drivers compete against one another. 4.1.2. Every driver has a separate iRating for each race category, i.e. Oval, Road, etc. Each category's specific iRating is automatically calculated and updated to reflect the driver's performance and any races joined in that category. 4.1.2.1. Only races in a given category impact the driver's iRating in that category. There is no cross-category influence on iRating. 4.1.3. iRatings are the primary factor in assigning drivers to divisions for the series in which they compete, maximizing competition and allowing members to advance to higher divisions as their skills improve or return to a lower division if the competition proves too difficult. 4.1.4 iRatings are also used to gauge the level of difficulty of a given race, influencing the calculation of championship points to be awarded for each finishing position based on the strength of the field. The higher the degree of difficulty, the more points are available to each driver in the race. 4.1.5 iRatings are not visible to members in the rookie license class. Section 5 Competition 5.1 Membership 5.1.1 Membership Accounts 5.1.1.1 An iRacing.com member only needs a single account to have access to any and all opportunities on iRacing.com. However, it is not prohibited to own more than one account. 5.1.1.2 A member is allowed to race under more than one account. However, without exception, a member can only join any given race with one of their accounts. 5.1.1.3 A member is responsible for any and all the accounts that they create. 5.1.1.4 A member should not own additional accounts to create havoc or for unsporting reasons. 5.1.1.5 If a member is disciplined on any one account, the same discipline applies to all of their accounts. 5.1.1.6 If a member is suspended or restricted from any part of the service, they are not allowed to open a new account for any reason, including to circumvent the penalty. If they do so, further penalties will be applied to all accounts. 5.1.1.7 Only the member who created an account can race and participate using that account. However, it is okay and encouraged to let a non-member of iRacing, or to let a non-member try iRacing using their account under all of the following conditions: A. For limited demonstration and trial purposes only. B. On the member's own computer and equipment. C. At the member's usual geographic racing location. D. In single car testing mode only. E. For non-commercial purposes only. 5.1.2 Suspension 5.1.2.1 iRacing.com may suspend a member for a definite or indefinite period of time in the interest of internet racing, iRacing.com, or the membership. The affected member may appeal such a suspension to iRacing.com using the proper channels. See Appeals, Section 10. 5.1.3 Involuntary Termination 5.1.3.1 iRacing.com may terminate a membership at any time in the interest of internet racing, iRacing.com, or the membership. Such a member shall have no right to receive, and iRacing.com shall not be obligated to refund or any part of all of the fees previously paid by the member to iRacing.com. The affected member may, subject to limitations, appeal such termination to iRacing.com using the proper channels. See Appeals, Section 10. 5.1.4 Membership Required 5.1.4.1 Every person or entity who desires to participate in an event as a driver must possess a current iRacing.com membership authorizing participation in that capacity. 5.1.5 Membership Non-Transferable 5.1.5.1 An iRacing.com membership is not transferable and non-assignable. It may be used only by the person or entity to which it is issued. 5.1.5.2 Participating in official sessions under another member's account is forbidden, as is supplying another member with personal account information, such as username or password, to enable him or her to run official sessions on an account other than his or her own. Either action will result in the account suspension of both the account holder and the person competing on his or her behalf. Neither driver will be eligible for any Premier Series, such as the Pro Series or Drivers' World Championship Series, for a period of no less than 1 year. 5.1.6 Removal from an event 5.1.6.1 An iRacing.com official may remove a member from an event to promote the orderly conduct of the event. Sanctions issued during an event may not be appealed. 5.2 Competitor Releases 5.2.1 Advertising and Promotion Releases 5.2.1.1 Each member by participating in any iRacing.com sanctioned event, grants to iRacing.com its authorized agents and assigns an exclusive license to use and sublicense his or her name, likeness, and performance, including photographs, images, and sounds of such competitor and or any vehicle that competitor drives in the event, in any way, medium, or material, including but not limited to broadcasts by and through television, cable television, radio, pay-per-view, closed-circuit television, satellite signal, digital signal, film productions, audio tape productions, transmissions over the internet, public or private online services authorized by iRacing.com, sales and other commercial projects, and the like, for promoting, advertising, and broadcasting, recording, or reporting any iRacing.com sanctioned event before, during, and after such event, and each competitor hereby relinquishes to iRacing.com exclusively and in perpetuity all rights thereto for such purposes. 5.2.2 Broadcasting and Other Rights. 5.2.2.1 Each member, by participating in any iRacing.com sanctioned event, acknowledges that iRacing.com and its licenses and assigns, exclusively and in perpetuity, owns any and all rights to broadcast, transmit, film, tape, capture, overhear, photograph, collect, or record by any means, process, medium, or device, including but not limited to broadcast by and through television, cable television, radio, pay-per-view, closed-circuit television, satellite signal, digital signal, film productions, audio tape productions, transmissions over the internet, public or private online services authorized by iRacing.com, sales and other commercial projects, and the like, whether or not currently in existence, all images, sounds, and data, including but not limited to in-car audio, in-car video, in-car radio, voice chat, text chat, other electronic transmissions between cars and crews, and timing and scoring information arising from or during any iRacing.com sanctioned event or the competitor's performance in the event, and that iRacing is and shall be the sole owner of any and all copyrights, intellectual property rights, and proprietary rights worldwide in and to these works, and in and to any other works, copyrightable or otherwise, created from the images, sounds, and data arising from or during any iRacing.com sanctioned event, and the competitor's performance in the event. Each competitor agrees to take all steps reasonably necessary, and all steps requested by iRacing.com, to protect, perfect, or effectuate iRacing.com's ownership of other interests in these rights. Each competitor agrees not to take any action, nor cause others to take any action, nor enter into any third-party agreement which would contravene, diminish, encroach, or infringe upon these iRacing.com rights. That's a big one. (5.3) Sanctioning. 5.3.1 Event Sanctioning. 5.3.1.1 An iRacing.com sanctioned event is an event which awards championship points for individual or team championships and is often referred to as ranked or official racing. 5.3.1.2 Active iRacing.com members possessing at least the minimum required license class in the appropriate racing category are authorized to participate in iRacing.com sanctioned events. 5.3.2 Racing Categories. 5.3.2.1 iRacing.com sanctioned competitions are divided by race category based on the nature of the racing venue, i.e. road, oval, etc. 5.3.2.2 Although all elements of competition, including license classes, series, sessions, points, and championships, are generally unique to a particular race category, iRacing.com reserves the right to introduce competitions that include a mix of race categories. 5.3.3 Official Series. 5.3.3.1 Within each race category, iRacing.com sanctions various racing series. Each series is defined by its season schedule, an ordered list of host venues including track configurations, vehicles, and license class eligibility requirements. iRacing.com reserves the right to modify any series schedule at any time. 5.3.3.2 iRacing.com may publish series-specific supplemental regulations for any series. 5.3.3.3. Within each series are typically 3 different driving competitions: race, time trial, and time attack. Members may compete in any number of these competitions. 5.3.4 Rookie Series. 5.3.4.1 Rookie Series are standard official series typically reserved for new iRacing.com members holding a Rookie Class license. Rookie Series are intended to be educational, allowing new members the opportunity to build skills, acclimate to the iRacing simulation software, and to familiarize themselves with the community and the sport of internet racing. 5.4 Divisions. 5.4.1 Racing. 5.4.1.1 Each official race series will be divided into 10 competition divisions, grouping drivers of similar skill level in competition for the remainder of the season. Any official race series open to members within the rookie license class shall also include an 11th competition division specifically for rookie license class holders wishing to participate in that race series. 5.4.1.2 At the beginning of each season, the iRacing system automatically partitions drivers into 10 competition divisions based on their iRating at the end of the previous season. 5.4.1.3 Throughout a season, drivers are assigned to competitive divisions based on their current iRating. 5.4.1.4 Non-standard series typically will not be segmented into competitive divisions unless otherwise stated in series-specific supplemental regulations. 5.4.2 Time Trial. 5.4.2.1 Time trial competitive divisions are determined in the same manner as iRacing competitive divisions, except using drivers' TT rating instead of iRating. 5.5 Official Sessions and Competitions. 5.5.1 Qualifying. 5.5.1.1 Qualifying sessions are typically attached to an actual race session and happen right before the race, or in some cases can be set as standalone qualifying sessions. Attached qualifying sessions or standalone qualifying sessions determine the qualifying order, which is used to grid cars and race sessions. For qualifying sessions attached to the actual race session, that specific qualifying session determines the grid order. For standalone qualifying sessions, the grid order is updated throughout the week, and race sessions are gridded according to the qualifying order as it exists at the race session start time. 5.5.1.2 Official lap times and incidents are recorded and factored into a driver safety rating calculation for both attached and standalone qualifying sessions. 5.5.1.3 Drivers who have not posted a qualifying time before a race will start the race session from the back of the grid. If there are multiple drivers without qualifying times in a given race session, they will be gridded behind all drivers who have posted times from highest to lowest iRating. 5.5.2 Time Trial. 5.5.2.1 Time trials are single car sessions in which a driver must complete a prescribed number of consecutive laps as quickly as possible and without incident. The best average lap time through a completed sequence is recorded as the driver's time trial time. Any incident invalidates the current sequence. 5.5.2.2 A time trial session is considered official once the prescribed number of consecutive laps is reached without incident. Official lap times and incidents are recorded and factored into a driver's safety rating calculation. 5.5.3 Race. 5.5.3.1 Race sessions are real-time competitions with multiple cars on the same track at the same time. 5.5.3.2 Official lap times and incidents are recorded and factored into a driver's safety rating calculation. 5.5.3.3 All official ranked race sessions are recorded and factored into a driver's iRating calculation. 5.5.3.4 A race session is considered an official race session if it meets the minimum number of drivers as defined by that specific race session rules. 5.5.4 Time Attack. 5.5.4.1 Time Attack is a hot lapping competition with a single car on track attempting to achieve the fastest possible lap time. A racer must complete this process for an entire series of tracks, which typically match the official season race schedule, i.e. the tracks and the car selection combinations used for the season's time attack will match the track and car selection combinations used for the season's official races. Once complete, the system takes your fastest single lap time as your submitted score for each track in the Time Attack series and totals them as your final Time Attack score. 5.5.4.2 A racer may drive as many laps as desired on any or all of the tracks in the Time Attack series to try and continually improve his or her Time Attack score, status on the Time Attack Ladder leaderboard, and worldwide competition standings. 5.5.4.3 The Time Attack World Champion is the racer with the best Time Attack score for the season. 5.5.4.4 There are 10 tiers of skill on the Time Attack leaderboard to help racers identify their personal performance compared to all other iRacing.com members. Part of the challenge and fun of the Time Attack system is to try and move up the tiers and become a world champion. 5.5.4.5 Table of Time Attack tiers. Tier name, color, percentile. Oh hell. World Champion. Super Green, 10% to 0%. Pro, Lime, 20% to 11%. Expert, Yellow, worst color, 30% to 21%. Advanced, Gray, 40% to 31%. Senior, Pink, 50% to 41%. Skilled, like a super light blue, 60% to 51%. Intermediate, blue, 70% to 61%. Club, pink, 80% to 71%. Challenger, mint, 90% to 81%. Novice, 70s brown, 100% to 91%. 5.5.4.6 Each session, a brand new Time Attack competition will start and there will be no carryover from prior seasons. 5.5.4.7 Safety rating and iRating are both completely disabled during Time Attack sessions and they have no effect on a racer's Time Attack score. 5.5.4.8 While driving a Time Attack session, some of the standard iRacing simulation parameters are frozen to maintain identical track and vehicle performance for each lap. All participants receive identical weather conditions for all sessions run and it does not change during the session. The dynamic track system is disabled. The track does not heat up, collect rubber, marbles, or dirt, and every session will begin with identical track state parameters. Tire wear is disabled. Fuel is not consumed. Tire temperature is not disabled during Time Attack sessions. Tires do build up heat during Time Attack sessions. 5.6 Individual Championship Points. 5.6.1 Race Points. 5.6.1.1 Race Event Points. A. Race event points are scored in ranked series races. B. Races are valued by the strength of field, which is based on the iRatings of the drivers in the field for the event. The higher the SOF, the more points are available for each finishing position. C. Race event points are also adjusted for field size. The larger the field, the smaller the difference in race event points awarded for each finishing position. Oh, this is taking longer than I thought. 5.6.1.2, but hey, we're in it now. Race week points. A. Drivers may compete in as many ranked series races as they choose in a given race week. B. The best 25% of a driver's race performances, based on race event points scored in a given race week, rounded up to the next whole number, will be calculated at the conclusion of each ranked series race during the week. This final average at the conclusion of each race week will be the driver's race week points total and counts towards the season championship in that series. C. Example. A driver completed 9 ranked series during the week. 25% times 9 equals 2.25, and 2.25 rounded up to the next whole number is 3. Therefore, the driver's 3 best performances in the ranked series races are averaged together to calculate the driver's race week points. 5.6.1.3 Season Race Points. A. Season race points are calculated by totaling the race week points earned by a driver in a given ranked series throughout the season. B. Typically, a driver's best 8 weeks of the normal 12-week race schedule will count towards individual and club championships. 5.6.2 Time Trial Points. 5.6.2.1 Time Trial Points. A. Time trial points are scored in time trial sessions. A driver's best average lap time over the prescribed sequence of laps is recorded and points are awarded. B. Time trial points are awarded linearly. Strength of field is not calculated. The driver with the fastest average lap time over the prescribed sequence of laps is awarded 100 time trial points. All drivers below the fastest driver are awarded time trial points linearly, with a precision of 1/1000th of a time trial point between positions. C. Time trial points are kept in real time until the end of a race week, when they are frozen and finalized. 5.6.2.2 Season Time Trial Points. A. Season time trial points are calculated by totaling a driver's weekly time trial points as finalized at the conclusion of each race week. A driver's best 8 weeks of the normal 12-week race schedule will count towards the overall and divisional time trial championships. 5.7 Individual and Team Championships. 5.7.1 iRacing.com Championships. 5.7.1.1 Race championships, known as the iRacing.com championships, are decided by the accumulation of race points and ranked race sessions in a given season. 5.7.1.2 Individual drivers and teams may participate in as many ranked race sessions as they like during a given race week. Race points will be finalized at the end of the race week and recorded as the race points total for that week. These finalized race week race points count toward the season-ending race point grand total. 5.7.1.3 Each ranked race series shall crown an overall season race champion and divisional race champions for each of 10 competition divisions. 5.7.1.4 Ranked race series open to rookie license class holders will also crown a season race champion and divisional race champions for the 11th rookie only division. 5.7.1.5 Although race points, race week points, and season race points are calculated, non-standard 4-week rookie series do not include seasonal championships. 5.7.1.6 Season time trial champions will be determined in the same manner as race series champions. 5.7.2 Championship points tiebreaker. 5.7.2.1 Although not displayed in the displayed series championship points, these values extend several decimal places. This sometimes leads to the standings displaying a tie when there actually is not a tie. However, there are cases where the points are exactly the same to the decimal point. In these rare cases, ties will be broken in the following order. A. Wins. The driver who has the most wins will be awarded the position. B. Top 5 finishes. The driver with the most top 5 finishes will be awarded the position. C. Average finish. The driver with the better finishing average will be awarded the position. D. Least incidents. The driver with the least amount of incidents will be awarded the position. E. Laps led. The driver with the most laps led will be awarded the position. Real quick. Thank you for, I saw Anonymous gifted someone a sub. I think there was 2, so I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hope you're all having fun and learning lots tonight. We're about halfway. I bet y'all have already learned a bunch, huh? It's nice. I don't know, you'll have to ask if there's still a tie after that. If you ask them. Alright. Section 6. Race Procedures. 6.1. Individual Registration. 6.1.1. All ranked iRacing.com races are typically available for registration 30 minutes prior to the start of the event. 6.1.2. A timer is visible in the iRacing.com members website race panel counting down to the start of the race session. 6.1.3. Any time between the opening of registration and 2 minutes prior to the start or to the session start time, drivers may withdraw from the race session without race points or iRating penalty. 6.1.4. Withdrawing from a ranked race session with 2 minutes or fewer left on the countdown timer may result in a forfeit. 6.1.5. Drivers who forfeit a race will be credited with a last place finish and earn 0 race points for that race. The race will also be counted in the race week average. See Race Week Points, Section 5.6.1.2. 6.1.6. Drivers who forfeit a race will be credited with a last place finish, and this will be reflected in their iRating by a change equal to a last place finish. 6.2. Team Registration. 6.2.1. Team racing has different joining, qualifying, withdrawing, and registration rules. You can learn more under the Teams drop-down menu on the iRacing.com members website. 6.3. Field Size. 6.3.1. The minimum number of drivers for a ranked race is typically set at 6 drivers, but this is the guide and not a rule. Various other factors can impact adjusting the minimum number of drivers, including community input. 6.3.2. The maximum number of drivers will be determined for each ranked race to try and ensure safe, fun, and competitive racing within each class. 6.4. Race Length. 6.4.1. Race lengths are determined based on community input, data, historical experience, fun, competition, and other factors. iRacing.com reserves the right to adjust race lengths for all series on a seasonal basis. 6.5. Race Splits. 6.5.1. iRacing.com strives to have similarly skilled drivers racing together in each event. The more drivers that register for a given race time, typically the closer the skills of each driver will be matched for that race. Should more drivers register for a race session than the track and/or series allows, the race will be instantiated and the registered drivers are split into separate fields that race at the same time. 6.5.2. Drivers are placed in a particular race split based primarily on their iRating at the time of the start of the race. 6.5.3. Other factors may be taken into account for determining race splits beyond iRating at the sole discretion of iRacing.com in order to improve the online competition environment. 6.6. Warm-up. 6.6.1. After race splits are processed and the session has begun, each race has a warm-up period of approximately 2 to 10 minutes. This time is to ensure all drivers have loaded into the session and allow for a bit of additional practice on the track. 6.6.2. The checkered flag is displayed at the conclusion of the predetermined warm-up time. After 10 seconds, the gridding process begins. 6.7. Gridding. 6.7.1. At the start of the gridding process, each driver will have 60 seconds to place his or her car on the starting grid. This is done by clicking on the green grid button at the top of the screen. 6.7.2. Any driver not gridding his or her car within the time limit must start the race from his or her pit box with a possible hold from race control to ensure safe entry onto the track. 6.7.3. The 60-second time limit for gridding may conclude early if all drivers complete gridding early. When this occurs, race control will proceed directly to starting. It's actually 2 minutes now, so 120 seconds. You could change that for hosted races though. 6.8. Starting. 6.8.1. Road. 6.8.1.1. Road race starts may either be in the form of a standing start or rolling start depending on the series. 6.8.1.2. For a standing start, the countdown to the start of the race will be signaled by the sequential illumination of 4 red lights. After a short delay, all 4 red lights will turn green simultaneously, signifying the green flag has been thrown and the race has started. 6.8.1.3. Any motion by a car prior to the display of the green flag may be viewed by race control as a jump start and result in a black flag stop and go penalty. 6.8.1.4. For a rolling start, the oval starting rules apply. See Oval, Section 6.8.2. 6.8.2. Oval. 6.8.2.1. Oval race starts will be in the form of a rolling start. 6.8.2.2. Once all drivers are on the grid, the pace car will lead the field around the track for at least 1 lap, and then exit the track as late as possible and enter pit lane. 6.8.2.3. As the front row of cars approach the start-finish line, the green flag will be shown, signifying the start of the race. 6.8.2.4. Drivers should not pass cars in their own pacing line on the left-hand side before the start-finish line. Drivers attempting to improve their position by passing on the left-hand side before the start-finish line will be given a black flag stop-and-go penalty by race control. The leader of the second pace line may not pass the leader of the first pace line, pole position, before the start-finish line. Doing so will result in a black flag stop-and-go penalty. 6.8.2.5 Drivers are not allowed to approach the start-finish line as the race transitions from pacing, for example under yellow flag or at the start of a race, to speeds that are well beyond the pacing speed or speed of the leaders in an attempt to time the green flag to unfairly overtake other cars. An example of this would be to come up behind and catch a pack of cars pacing at 80 miles per hour under yellow flag conditions at a speed of 150 miles per hour in the vicinity of the start-finish line just as the race goes to green and passing those cars. Under those conditions, the car catching up to the field from behind should slow down and get in line at the back of the pack at pacing speed and then begin racing as normal once the green flag is given. 6.9 Pit Procedures 6.9.1 For race control purposes, the start of pit lane is defined by a pair of yellow cones, one on each side of the lane, and the end of pit lane is defined by a pair of green cones, one on each side of the lane. 6.9.2 When leaving his or her pit stall, a driver shall, as quickly as is practical, enter the acceleration-deceleration lane in order to avoid incidental contact with cars being automatically placed into nearby pit stalls. Similarly, a driver should remain in the acceleration-deceleration lane until just prior to entering his or her pit stall in order to avoid incidental contact with cars being automatically placed into nearby pit stalls. 6.9.3 Pit lane speed limits are in place for all series and all official sessions. Drivers must slow to the posted pit lane speed limit prior to passing through the 2 yellow cones that mark the entrance to pit lane, and drivers may not accelerate above the pit lane speed limit until after passing through the 2 green cones that mark the exit of pit lane. Failure to obey the posted pit lane speed limit will result in a 15-second black flag stop and hold penalty. 6.9.4 At tracks with defined pit lane entry and exit, as indicated by existing painted lines, barriers, and or cones, drivers must observe and obey such demarcations. Failure to do so on entry may result in a 15-second black flag stop and hold penalty. Failure to do so on exit may result in a black flag stop and go penalty. 6.9.5 A driver's car must be inside his or her assigned pit box to serve a penalty or receive pit service. All penalties are served after pit service has been completed. 6.9.6 A driver may call for a tow to the pits at any point during a race by pressing the enter-exit tow car control, also known as reset, which will move the driver forward around the track to his or her pit stall, where they will be held for some amount of time that represents a tow vehicle returning the driver's car to the pits. The time the tow takes is based on how far forward around the track the driver's car is being towed, so that the driver is neither gaining nor losing track position to the other competitors, plus a base penalty time for calling for a tow. If the tow takes the driver across the start-finish line to his or her pit stall, the driver will be scored for that lap after the tow completes. Once the tow is complete, the driver's pit crew may complete any requested pit work and attempt to repair the car, and any pending penalties will be served. 6.9.7 The duration of a tow is based on minimizing advantage gained or lost relative to other competitors on track, regardless of where on the track a tow is called for. To this end, the duration of the tow is longer while a full-course caution is in effect and competitors on track are traveling at pacing speeds than during green flag racing when competitors are at full racing speed. Any tow in progress will lengthen or shorten the remaining time appropriately if a full-course caution begins or ends while still towing. 6.9.8 Exiting a car or disconnecting from the server while driving is equivalent to requesting a tow. The tow continues while the driver is out of his or her car and or disconnected and trying to rejoin. The driver may re-enter his or her car at any time during or after the tow, but will still have to wait for the tow duration to complete before performing pit crew actions, serving penalties, or continuing the race. 6.9.9 In Rookie and Class D License Class Series, the first request for a tow during the race will be of a slightly shorter duration than a regular tow, and the driver's car will be fully repaired and restored by the tow. Any subsequent requests for a tow will be regular tows with normal tow duration, and no repairing or restoration of the car will occur, leaving any repairs to the pit crew to attempt. In Class C, B, A, and Pro License Class Series, there are no fast repair tows, only regular tows. 6.9.10 A driver may pit under power without pressing enter-exit tow car as often as he/she chooses for the purposes of changing tires, refueling, and repairing and or serving penalties. 6.10 Intentional, retaliatory, and or malicious wrecking. 6.10.1 Driving in the opposite direction of race traffic during any session will be viewed by race control as deliberate reckless driving. A furled black flag warning will be displayed immediately. Failure to comply promptly will result in disqualification. 6.10.2 Driving in the opposite direction of race traffic after driver has completed a race will result in a one-lap penalty assessed in the final scoring. At the conclusion of any multi-car session, drivers must either return safely to pit lane or bring their car to a safe stop off the racing surface so as not to create an incident hazard for other competitors still at speed. 6.10.3 Deliberate, blatant, intentionally malicious, or retaliatory wrecking for any reason is prohibited. Competitors who believe that they have been victims of such action, and those competitors who believe that they have witnessed such action, are strongly encouraged to file a protest through the proper channels. See Protest, Section 9. Okay, quick break. I'll be right back. Okay. That throat's getting scratchy. Okay. Real quick, happy birthday, Aaron. A lot of people have bought those. So, hope you're having a good birthday. Alright, let's continue. Section 7, Flag Signals. 7.1, Green Flag. 7.1.1 A green flag indicates the start of a race, a clear track condition, and or the cancellation of a previous flag condition, such as a caution. 7.2 White flag. 7.2.1 When displayed at the start-finish line, a white flag indicates the start of the last lap and will be displayed to the leader first and then to the remainder of the competitors. 7.3 Checkered flag. 7.3.1 A checkered flag indicates the end of a session, warm-up, or race. 7.4 Blue flag. 7.4.1 A blue flag with a diagonal yellow stripe indicates faster cars are approaching. This flag is informational only. 7.4.2 In all cases, it is the responsibility of the faster car to safely overtake the slower car. It is the responsibility of the slower car to maintain a consistent line. It is strongly recommended that a slower car being lapped makes every reasonable effort to facilitate a safe pass. 7.5 Yellow flag. 7.5.1 A yellow flag signals a caution of some kind. 7.5.2 When a yellow flag is displayed, this indicates danger. Passing is not advisable, be prepared to slow down, and that the track may be partially or completely blocked. 7.5.3 Yellow flag procedures, road. 7.5.3.1 On road courses, if a local yellow flag is displayed, all drivers should be aware that there is an incident on track and proceed with caution. 7.5.3.2 In the event of a full course caution, a yellow flag will be displayed at the start-finish line and all corner stations. Race control will freeze the running order and send the pace car out to pick up the race leader. Drivers must comply with instructions from race control regarding where to line up behind the pace car. 7.5.4 Yellow flag procedures, oval. 7.5.4.1 On oval tracks, a yellow flag will signal a full course caution. The pacing order will be frozen at the moment the full course caution begins. Cars causing the caution or otherwise seen as out of control may, however, not be awarded a place in the pacing order until they are detected to be on course and under control. Race control will instruct the leader to follow the pace car. All other drivers must fall in line in accordance with instructions from race control. To assist drivers in preparation for a restart, up-down arrows will be shown to help with positioning. Failure to line up correctly by the time a driver attempts a pit entry or the race restarts will result in the offending driver receiving a black flag penalty. 7.5.4.2 While pacing during a full course caution, race control will signal 2 laps to go, then 1 lap to go until the green flag restart. 7.5.4.3 When there are 2 laps of pacing to go until the green flag restart, race control may restructure the pace lines in preparation for the restart. Racers that are not on the lead lap will be shuffled down the pacing order behind racers that are on the lead lap. 7.5.5 Wave by. 7.5.5.1 When there are 2 laps of pacing to go until the green flag restart, race control will restructure the pace lines in preparation for the restart. Racers that are not on the lead lap will be shuffled down the pacing order behind racers that are on the lead lap. Pit lane is closed to all lead lap cars that have not pitted. If a lead lap car pits under this condition, he or she will have to serve a green flag penalty pit stop. 7.5.5.2 When there is 1 lap of pacing to go until the green flag restart, race control will issue the wave by to all cars between the pace car and the leader of the race. Pit lane is closed to cars receiving the wave by. Should the driver pit, he or she will have to serve a green flag penalty stop. 7.6 Black flag. 7.6.1 A black flag signals a warning or penalty of some kind. 7.6.2 When displayed furled, this indicates a warning from race control and action may be required by the driver, such as slowing on course to avoid an in-session penalty. 7.6.3 When displayed unfurled, this indicates an in-session penalty from race control. The driver must return to his or her pit box to serve the penalty. 7.6.4 When displayed with a white X, this indicates disqualification from the session. The driver will be removed from the session. 7.6.5 Black flag procedures. 7.6.5.1 Race control may assess 4 types of black flag penalties. A. Stop and go. This penalty requires the penalized driver to return to his or her pit box and come to a complete stop inside the pit box before rejoining the race. B. Stop and hold. This penalty requires the penalized driver to return to his or her pit box and come to a complete stop inside the box. Race control will then hold the driver for a specific duration of time before releasing them to rejoin the race. C. Drive-through. This penalty requires the penalized driver to drive through pit lane without stopping. Race control will clear the penalty as the driver exits pit lane. Drive-through penalties may not be served while any other black flag penalty is applied to the driver. C. Disqualification. Upon disqualification, a driver has 30 seconds to pull off of the racing line and exit the session. Otherwise, race control will automatically remove the disqualified driver. Race control will immediately remove any driver from a session who is assessed a disqualification black flag for driving the wrong way on the track. 7.6.5.2 If a driver is assessed a black flag penalty by race control in any session, he or she must return to the pits to serve the penalty. Although the driver's lap count will continue uninterrupted, official lap times will not be recorded until the driver has served his or her penalty. 7.6.5.3 The driver may not use the enter-exit tow car control, also known as reset, to return to the pits to serve a black flag penalty during a race session. Using the reset control to expedite clearing of a black flag is allowed as a convenience only in testing, practice, qualifying, and time trial sessions. 7.6.5.4 Failure to return to the pits and serve a black flag penalty will result in disqualification. 7.7 Failure to comply. 7.7.1 Failure to comply with any flag signal may result in a black flag penalty being assessed by race control. Oh, penalty time. Y'all ready? Section 8. Penalties. 8.1. Breach of rules. 8.1.1. Any of the following offenses, in addition to any offenses referred to previously, shall be deemed to be a breach of iRacing.com rules. 8.1.1.1. Any action having as its object to illegally alter the simulation, content, cars, tracks, or any aspects of the software to gain unfair competitive advantage. Aaron. 8.1.2. Any fraudulent conduct or any act prejudicial to the interests of any competition or to the interests of internet racing in general. 8.1.1.3. Cutting the course. Drivers gaining an advantage by following a course configuration other than the one specified for the event will be assessed a black flag stop and hold penalty by race control, with the duration of the hold being equal to the illegally gained time advantage plus 15 seconds. Any other cutting the course infractions will result in a furled black flag warning, and the driver will have 15 seconds to slow down and comply before being assessed a black flag stop and hold penalty by race control, with the duration of the hold being equal to the illegally gained time advantage plus 15 seconds. This is also slightly different now, but it's all good. 8.1.1.4. Blocking. The leading driver is allowed to run a defensive line. However, blocking occurs when a leading driver actively adjusts his or her driving line based on the actions and or positioning of a pursuing driver. For example, veering left to prevent a pursuing driver from passing on the left while running on a straight. Please see the video example of the following link. What is blocking? I don't have a link. 8.1.1.5. Damaged vehicles. Drivers may not drive damaged vehicles on the apron at reduced speeds with the intent of gaining positions from drivers that have retired or disconnected due to damaged race cars. The intent of this action is contradictory to the spirit of competition and creates an unsafe environment for the remaining drivers not damaged and still racing. A protest may be filed through the proper channels for this offense. See Protest, Section 9. I actually did not know that. A lot of people do that. I don't know. That one's kind of weird. 8.1.1.6. Intentional caution. Drivers intentionally stopping on or off the racing surface to intentionally bring out a caution period for their benefit or the benefit of another driver is forbidden and subject to adverse administrative and or punitive actions. Aaron. 8.1.1.7. Drivers may not use the enter-exit tow car control, also known as reset, to gain positions during a race. This includes driving your damaged vehicle to your pit box and exiting the pit box, and then using the reset function to move forward around the track to complete laps and pass competitors who have since retired or disconnected from the race session. A protest may be filed through the proper channels for this offense. See Protest, Section 9. You know, I actually never thought about doing that before. 8.1.1.8. Drivers can only use the racing surface for qualifying and racing. The apron is not defined as racing surface. Drivers may not use the apron to gain an advantage in qualifying or racing. Any advantage will be determined by iRacing.com. A protest may be filed through the proper channels for this offense. See Protest, Section 9. Didn't actually know that either. I think that depends on the track. 8.1.1.9. Driver may not use nefarious tactics to gain an advantage in qualifying. For example, a driver could have a prototype class car slow down for the sole purpose of creating a drafting situation for the benefit of a slower class car. This may or may not include cutting the course. iRacing.com will determine what constitutes an advantage. Getting a draft to normal qualifying strategy or luck is okay. 8.1.2. Any member found in breach of the iRacing official sporting code, addenda thereto, or any supplementary regulations by iRacing.com may result in penalty for the offending member. The decisions will become immediately binding regardless of pending appeals. The penalty will remain in effect until the appeal process is concluded. All appeals are to be made according to the proper procedure and are subject to limitations. See Appeals, Section 10. 8.2. Application of penalties. 8.2.1. Penalties may be applied as follows and in no particular order. 8.2.1.1. Coaching. This penalty is not subject to appeal. 8.2.1.2 Race disqualification. This penalty is not subject to appeal. 8.2.1.3 Restrictions to various parts of iRacing.com and or the iRacing simulation. This penalty may be subject to appeal. See Appeals, Section 10. A. Restricted from participating in race and qualifying sessions for all official series. B. Restricted from participating in any and all multiplayer sessions. C. Restricted from participating hosted sessions. D. Restricted from spectating sessions. E. Restricted from using in-simulation voice chat, text chat, and or both voice and text chat. F. Suspended from the entirety of iRacing.com. 8.2.1.4 Indefinite revocation of iRacing.com membership. This penalty may be subject to appeal. See Appeals, Section 10. 8.2.2 If a member is assessed probation or suspension, he or she must serve the full term of the penalty while his or her iRacing.com membership is active. 8.2.3 Regardless of any protest, appeals, or penalty success, iRatings, TT ratings, and safety ratings will not be adjusted. 8.3 Forfeiture of awards. 8.3.1 Any competitor or iRacing.com member penalized in any way may lose the right to receive awards granted for a racing or driving competition at the sole discretion of iRacing.com. 8.3.2 iRacing.com retains the right to withhold any awards from competitors if found that he or she has violated the terms of service, the end-user license agreement, code of conduct, or the iRacing official sporting code. 8.4 Publication of penalties. 8.4.1 iRacing.com reserves the right to publish the name of any iRacing.com member assessed a penalty, as well as the nature of the infraction or violation and any associated penalties in its own publications or those of any other affiliated public forum. Protest time, huh? Section 9. Protest. 9.1. Who may protest? 9.1.1. The right to file a protest shall rest with any iRacing.com member who observes the incident in question or feels any part of the iRacing official sporting code or official rules of iRacing.com have been violated. Each member alone may protest any decision, act, or omission of iRacing.com, an official, a driver, or other person connected to the competition which the protester believes is unfair or in violation of the iRacing official sporting code or other official regulations or rules of iRacing.com. 9.2 Lodging a protest. 9.2.1 A protest must be made in writing, specifying which sections of the iRacing official sporting code, racing rules, club rules, series rules, or other official iRacing.com rules have been violated. 9.2.2 Protests may only be filed using the official protest form. This is located at the File Protest link within the Help menu drop-down of the iRacing.com members website or in the Session Results page. This is the only method to formally lodge a protest. 9.2.3 Protests must be made within 7 days of the infraction or violation that is being protested. 9.3 Review of a protest. 9.3.1 It is expected that protests shall be reasonable, logical, and based on sound evidence, thus well-founded. Nevertheless, a well-founded protest may still be defined as one upon which reasonable people may differ. 9.3.2 iRacing.com shall review a protest as soon as practical after the protest is lodged and during normal business hours. Affected parties may be notified about the protest and judgment of the protest. iRacing.com shall review all evidence and be entitled to discuss the incident with other witnesses or parties involved or to gather additional evidence. 9.3.3 iRacing.com may investigate any member against whom one or more protests have been filed, regardless of the outcome of any protests against or appeals by that member. 9.3.4 Regardless of the outcome of any protest, iRacing.com may deem a protest to be frivolous or incomplete if it is found by iRacing.com not to be reasonable, logical, or based on sound evidence. iRacing.com reserves the right to assess a penalty on any member filing a frivolous. God, I've been talking too much. iRacing.com reserves the right to assess a penalty on any member filing a frivolous protest. 9.3.5. All parties concerned shall be bound by the decision given, subject only to a formal appeal. See Appeals, Section 10. Section 10, Appeals. 10.1, Right to Appeal. 10.1.1. Any member assessed a penalty shall have the right to appeal any decision or penalty imposed by iRacing.com unless otherwise stated in the penalty notice itself or in the iRacing official sporting code. 10.2, Well-founded appeals. 10.2.1. To be considered, an appeal must be well-founded. An appeal shall be reasonable, logical, and based on sound evidence. I actually have a funny story about someone who sent an appeal that was none of those things, and their appeal did not go through. Regardless of the outcome, iRacing.com may deem an appeal to be frivolous if it is found not to be reasonable, logical, and based on sound evidence. iRacing.com reserves the right to assess a penalty to any member filing a frivolous appeal. 10.3. Initiating an appeal. 10.3.1. Appeals must be made in writing, specifically asking for an appeal, specifying the exact nature of the appeal and why it is believed an appeal is warranted, along with all evidence to support the appeal. Written appeals must be addressed to Appeals Committee iRacing and submitted to appeal@iRacing.com. This is the only place to formally make an appeal. Appeals must be submitted within 7 days of the penalty or decision being appealed. Any evidence, data, recordings, or third-party accounts are welcome and encouraged to be submitted with appeal. Intent to appeal or other informal appeals of any kind will not be accepted. 10.3.2. Example of a properly formatted appeal. Case number CAS-2816-XSWYLN. Sporting Code Section 5.1.1.2. Driver, Aaron Smith. Grounds for the description of appeal. I feel the wrong decision has been made because. Accompanying attachments. Chat_text.jpg. 10.4 Notification of final appeal decision. 10.4.1 iRacing.com will notify the member of its final decision as soon as possible after the decision is rendered. iRacing.com shall also have the right to publish the appeal to other or all iRacing.com members. Members or any persons shall have no right of action against the Appeals Committee or iRacing.com. The appeal decision and resolution is final and binding with no other right to appeal. 10.4.2 All iRacing.com members expressly agree not to initiate or maintain claims, suits, or actions of any kind, including, without limitation, arbitration proceedings against iRacing.com or anyone acting on behalf of these organizations with respect to any final appeal decision. 10.4.3 All iRacing.com members expressly agree that if any member initiates or maintains any claim, suit, or action in violation of the above provision, the members will reimburse iRacing.com for all costs and expenses relating to the claim, suit, or action, including attorney's fees, and that such amount represents damages and not a penalty against the member. Section 11. Hosted sessions. 11.1 Hosted races. 11.1.1 All member-hosted sessions are unofficial. Safety rating and iRating will not be gained or lost during any member-hosted session. 11.1.2 Points will not be awarded in hosted races nor be displayed in the results of these sessions. 11.1.3 Hosted races may be used as a vehicle for league racing. 11.1.4 The Code of Conduct applies to hosted sessions. 11.1.5 Violations of the Code of Conduct may be protested through the proper channels. See Protest, Section 9. Section 12. Sanctioned Race Series. 12.1 NASCAR. 12.1.1 The NASCAR series follows the iRacing.com license class progression requirements. See License Class, Section 3. 12.1.2 Race points will be calculated in the same way as the iRacing.com sanctioned race series. See individual championship points, section 5.6. In all NASCAR divisions, with the exception of the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series and the NASCAR iRacing.com World Championship Series. The names of these series are subject to change based on various factors, including sponsorship. 12.1.3. The NASCAR iRacing.com World Championship Series will use the NASCAR sanctioned race point system that does not include averaging. Additional rules for these series are posted in the reference section of iRacing.com. In addition, regular communication typically occurs between iRacing.com and the NASCAR iRacing.com World Championship Series drivers through email and private forums. 12.1.4. The NASCAR Competition Advisory Board includes official iRacing.com and official NASCAR staff. Section 13. Multiclass Racing. 13.1. Qualifying and Gridding. 13.1.1. Qualifying is conducted in the same manner as other standard iRacing.com series. See Qualifying, Section 5.5.1. 13.1.2. All official multiclass races are typically gridded based on qualifying speed in that class of car in which the driver qualified. For instance, if a driver's slowest qualifying speed is in a Riley DP, he will be gridded behind all other Riley DPs but in front of all Ford Mustangs. 13.1.3. Drivers that do not post a qualifying time prior to an official race will be gridded at the back of the field ordered by car class and iRating. 13.2. Individual Championship Points. 13.2.1. Series championship points are awarded based on the size of the field for each car class and are calculated in the same manner as other standard iRacing.com series. See Race Points, Section 5.6.1. 13.2.1.1. Example: the first Daytona prototype driver to cross the finish line will score first place points based on the size of the field of all the Daytona prototype drivers in that race. Additionally, the first Radical SR8 driver to cross the finish line will receive first place points based on the size of the field of all Radical SR8 drivers. 13.2.2. Competitors are not locked into a specific car class for any given race week and can compete for both class championships in the series. 13.2.3. iRating is gained or lost from only the drivers competing in the same car class. Essentially, two or more completely separate race series are being determined in the same race session. Section 14. World Championship Pro and eSports Series. iRacing.com hosts and manages a number of eSport races and series that are beyond our standard official series and are considered professional, select, or elite. These races or series are often accompanied by prizes and additional focus. The iRacing Pro and World Championship License Level Series are notable examples of series of this type. This section applies to all iRacing Pro License Level Series, iRacing World Championship Level License Level Series, and any other series or race in which we state that this section of the sporting code is in effect. This section is intended to address the unique nature of these series with additional rules and expectations for the participants. This section does not replace any other iRacing official documents or legal agreements. Information and rules about each particular iRacing.com World Championship Series, Pro Series, and other Premier Series are typically covered in separate documents, located in the reference section of our member site or other designated areas of our websites. 14.1. Conduct and Rules. 14.1.1. All drivers in any Pro, World Championship, or Premier Series will be held to a higher standard of behavior and sportsmanship than standard iRacing official series on and off the track. The drivers in these series are some of the best in the world and represent sim racing in our community. It is a privilege to drive in these competitive series, not a right. It is expected that each driver in these select series will treat other drivers, iRacing.com officials, employees, partners, and the greater community with courtesy, respect, and dignity on and off the racetrack. Participants are not only expected to conduct themselves in accordance with the iRacing sporting code, but also in a manner that reflects positively on iRacing, its affiliates, and partners. Additionally, participants shall conduct themselves in a way that is not harmful to business as deemed by iRacing. .1.2 iRacing appoints a race official or race director for each Pro, World Championship License Level Series, or Premier Series. There could be more than one appointed official. iRacing will typically make known the lead official or race director. The official or officials will likely be in communication with the participants and will be available to answer questions. The race officials will have general oversight and control of the series and will represent iRacing. The race official and/or race director has full authority to represent iRacing, and his or her decisions and instructions must be followed. Not every decision is appealable, and in those cases, the race official's decisions are final. Any decisions made by the appeal board are also final. See Appeals, Section 10. 14.1.3 Any race official has the authority to remove a director from a race at their sole discretion if they deem there is inappropriate behavior either on the track or in voice chat. 14.1.4 All iRacing decisions are final. Drivers agree to be bound by iRacing's final decision. Failure to accept iRacing decisions, including race penalties or other penalties, could result in series-related penalties or removal from the series or the racing service, or the iRacing service. These select series are often very tense and come with higher stakes than standard iRacing series. If you are unable to accept these decisions, even if you don't always agree with them, then this series level may not be for you. 14.1.5 All decisions regarding rules, the interpretation of rules, changes in the series, including termination of the series, eligibility, prizes, general judgment, racing incidents, driver participation, competition changes, schedule changes, penalties, protest appeals, misconduct, or any other service or series related decisions lie solely with iRacing, and all decisions are final. Other than the standard appeal procedure, decisions cannot be appealed further. See Appeals, Section 10. Any decision of any kind shall not give rise to any claim, nor shall iRacing, nor affiliates, licensors, officers, employees, directors, or agents be liable in any way for any legal or other remedy, damages, or loss of any kind. 14.1.6 Any series or race is subject to change at any time. 14.1.7 iRacing may suspend, terminate, or delete any participant's account for any reason or no reason, with or without notice. 14.1.8 iRacing is not responsible for any damage, loss, liabilities, injury, satisfaction, or disappointment incurred or suffered by a participant as a result of participating in a race, series, or accepting any prize. 14.1.9 iRacing can change or modify the sim, software, cars, tracks, and rules at any time. iRacing is not responsible for the untimely or any loss of access to the service, for example during a race, or connection quality to the service. iRacing may take action including removing a participant from a race or series if iRacing at its sole discretion deems the participant's connection quality impacts other drivers. Damn, it just ends like that. It doesn't even say bye. Well, there you have it. We did it. I hope you all learned. I hope you learned a lot. I actually learned a few things. Oh. Well, hope that was relaxing, informative. I'm sure you definitely sat through the entire thing, and I appreciate that. If you like, favorite, subscribe. Definitely share this to people because, like I said at the beginning, I know half of y'all probably didn't even know that these sporting code rules were a thing. Now you know. And now you will be a better iRacer now and in the future. So thank you for joining me. We will see you next time. Good evening.